everyone. This is Amber Lee. Most of you know me as the director of realmomsworkathome.com. But today I'm not here to talk about my website. I'm actually going to tell you a little bit about me and why I've been asking you guys for prayers and prayers for strength and stuff. So Thursday, 9/11, was the hardest day of my life. And I'm just going to tell you that I am a domestic violence survivor. I had to get a restraining order against my husband because he hit our 3-year-old son, who most of you know, Bentley, has autism, and it was just really difficult to deal with that. I've debated for ever since Thursday night whether or not to even make this video, and then I made it, and then I deleted it because I was like, do I really want people to know this about me? But I can't hide it anymore. So I've been lying too long about how perfect my life is, how my husband is perfect, and all of this, and it's really not. So I apologize for that. Or, you know, led you to believe that he was fine or perfect or whatever. But I wanted to make the video, and so I am, and just kind of tell you about my story, and hopefully I can help someone, because I've seen some other friends in my, some other posts on my friends list, just from network marketing, like friends, and I can tell that they're also going through some domestic violence situations. So I think if I can just help one person, that I can suck up my pride and just go ahead and make the video. So here we go. This whole process started on Monday. He hit my son and left 3 huge welt marks, almost as if he was hit with a switch the size of your finger, and it came from Randy's hand. And it left 3 huge welt marks on his thigh, the top of his thigh, and the front. And I didn't even know until I went to change his diaper, and I saw it, and I was like, I mean, it's just completely heartbreaking to see your child like that. Or to see some mark out of anger on your son. It's not like he fell and he got hurt or something. You know what happened. Because I didn't do it, because I don't spank my kids. I think it's lazy to spank them, because especially he's autistic, so he's only 3 years old, first of all. Second of all, I think it's lazy because I think children don't understand that it's wrong to do this, it's wrong to do that. And even though they may know, but I think you just really have to sit down and talk with your kids and explain to them that, you know, this is why this is wrong, or this is why we do this when we walk in the door, or this is why, etc. So that happened, and that's what really, like, broke the camel's back, I suppose. But that wasn't the worst incident, and it wasn't the only one. So I'm going to tell you about how we were treated and some incidences, and maybe it can help some of you, or if you know someone in a relationship like this, you can help them. So verbal abuse was an almost daily occurrence, and I'll say almost because it didn't happen every day. But things like bitch, whore, you're sleeping with your boss, you're sleeping with everyone, man, woman, it didn't matter. You're not about shit, you're not good enough, motherfucker, whore, you know, I already said that, but, you know, you get the point. Anything to say that was mean, he said it. A lot of times when I would tell him things, like in confidence, or just like really open my heart about it, he would be receptive. But then later in an argument, if I did something to upset him in any way, he would use it against me. So that's definitely behavior of an abusive husband or spouse or domestic partner. So the verbal abuse, and he was also not only doing that to me, he was also doing that to Bentley as well. He would say things like, you're lazy, you're retarded, you'll never have a wife, you'll never have sex, that type of thing. And it was really sad. Of course, I would always fight for my son. I would scream and yell at Randy and say, that's so wrong, like, why would you say that to him? You know, he's going to grow up and he's going to beat his wife because you're doing this. And I would even try to explain to him, even when we weren't arguing, how it was wrong and everything. And he would act like he would listen, but it was just all a game he was playing with me, just to keep me around. And I'm going to tell you something. We've been together for 4 years. The abuse didn't start until after I had Bentley. So the abuse started 3 years ago. And it started when Bentley was just a few days old. And he I was holding Bentley in my arms, and he pushes us both down. And I threw the baby onto the bed because there wasn't enough room for us both to fall. So I threw the baby to safety, and he didn't get hurt, so that was good. And I was planning on leaving then. I had called my mom. We lived in Charlotte at that time. And I called her, and she came all the way from Louisiana to Charlotte to pick me and Bentley up. And I let him talk me into letting him come with us, thinking that my mom was going to protect me. He was just drunk at the time, and, you know, he really won't do it again. It was just a one-time thing. And it's never a one-time thing. Never. But that's what I thought. So he did come with us to Louisiana, and that's where we live now. Very recently, we were having an argument, and I have to keep looking out the window, so I'm sorry. But we were having an argument. I was in the laundry room. He was in the kitchen. Out of nowhere, he comes and he's strangling me with both hands like this. And he tackles me all the way into the bedroom with his hands around my neck the whole time. And I fall backwards and hit my head on the floor. It's hard floor. And I'm like slipping in and out of consciousness because I hit my head. I mean, it was really hard too. And he's straddling me, and he's still pinning me to the floor and strangling me. And then he gets up and walks out and goes out of the room. But I'm slipping in and out of consciousness, and I was really prepared to die. I knew that, I just knew it was going to be my last breath. And it was really scary. It really was. Well, he left the room, and I got up, and I couldn't remember my name. I didn't know where I was. I didn't recognize my house. I didn't know I had kids. I was just crying, and I just let out this moan, and it was just sickening to hear it and know that it came from me. And so I try to go and get the phone, and he grabs out of my hand, and I'm like blacking out. I don't remember a lot, but I do remember screaming like, I don't know who I am, where am I, where am I, where am I? And it was really scary. I'm just guessing here, but maybe 25 minutes later, I come to and I start to remember who I am and everything. And I'm outside in a lawn chair. I have no idea how I got there. But then I started to remember who I was, where I was, etc. So, and he's sitting beside me in another lawn chair. And he's like, I'm so sorry, are you okay? And I was like, I need to go to the hospital. My jaw hurt. I couldn't swallow. I couldn't clench my teeth together. I couldn't put my teeth together. And I couldn't drink anything. I mean, it was just horrible. So he took me to the hospital, and he waited with me. The ER doctor asked me, what happened to you? And I just said I didn't remember, even though I do remember the initial attack. And I did remember at that point too. But I did let them know that I also had memory loss, and they gave me a CAT scan, which I have to pay for, and all of that. But thankfully I didn't have any actual damage to my skull or anything, and my jaw was not broken like I thought it was. It was just bruised or something. So I just told him I didn't remember, and asked Randy what happened to her, and he made up some excuse about how he was outside and he didn't know. So when the doctor actually got me alone, he asked me again and took my picture. And he only took my picture so that I could see, because he said if I go like this, it's like an exact, I don't know exactly how he went, yeah, like this. It's like an exact handprint on both sides, like you were strangled. And I just said, I don't remember. And he said, well, I can't do anything if you can't tell me. So we went home, and of course I forgave him and tried to make the best of my situation. But, you know, a lot of people, you know, every time that it happens, it gets worse, and that was the absolute worst. And then, of course, my son, and I just can't deal with that. So on Thursday, I went to get a restraining order. Even though the incident with Bentley happened on Monday, I couldn't actually go until Thursday because I do some work from home, and I was getting my check that day so I could have some gas, because he kept my car on empty, wouldn't pay the car insurance, so I couldn't go anywhere. So while I was going to get the restraining order, I was so scared that I was going to get pulled over and get my van impounded, and I didn't have any money to get it out. I only had just like $50 or so from my check, and you know, town is about 30-45 minutes away, so it was very scary. And I had all 3 kids, and Bentley can escape his car seat, so I was so scared about getting pulled over and maybe even getting my kids taken or whatever. So but I went and I got it, and the lady who filled out the paperwork while she was asking me questions and helping me fill it out, she said it's going to be really hard to get protection for the kids as well, because some people abuse the system and will use it as a way to get free full custody of their child by filing a restraining order and getting protection against the kids. But when we went upstairs to see the judge to get her to sign off on the restraining order for me and the kids, she took one look at my kids, and it's so heartbreaking, but she took one look at them and said, these are DV kids. And I said, what is that? She said, domestic violence. And I said, oh. And I didn't realize until that point that that's the reason why they have some behavioral problems. Yes, my son has autism, but and that comes along with it, but it was just really heartbreaking for somebody who doesn't know me, doesn't know my situation, didn't read the paperwork yet. She was just sitting there and looking at my kids. She knew exactly what was going on, and that's sad. And I can't believe I waited even this long. But there's three phases, or three phases that are continuously on repeat in a domestic violence relationship. And those are, first you have tension building, which is you can feel the argument coming on. You know, you can feel the tension. That is exactly what it is. You can feel it. And then you have the dramatic outbursts, which is the hitting, the slapping, the punching, the beating. Then you have your honeymoon phase, and that's the, oh baby, I love you, let me rub your feet, don't you love me, don't you want to be with me, I love you so much, I love these kids, don't give up on me, why do you hate me, please forgive me. And they have a certain charm. It's real smooth, and you want to believe them. And even from Monday night up until Thursday, he knew that I was off. He knew that I wasn't, there was something wrong with me. And he knew it was because of him hitting my son. And he knew that something was going to happen. And so, of course, he tried to prevent me by trying to put me back in the honeymoon phase. But I just wasn't having it. And sometimes you have to pretend and kind of lead them on a little bit, because if not, they can get really angry when the honeymoon phases doesn't work, and they can possibly kill you or beat you or kill your children. And when you have a murder-suicide in a domestic violence relationship, you'll find that the kids are always killed first. So the mother sees that, and they do it on purpose. And that's really sad. But I was not going to let that happen to my children. So I made steps to get out as fast as possible. And we had to go to a women and children's shelter for some of the night. And, you know, I know it's a really safe place for women and children, but it was scary. It was almost like a prison, because a lot of this is not fair. It's so hard. I'm not going to lie to you. It is so hard to put your kids through that stressful situation, to know that you're going to be doing this by yourself. You're going to be all alone. You're not going to have any help, especially in my case, because he completely isolated me from everyone that I ever loved and cared about. And I would talk to my family sometimes, but they live all the way in Atlanta. I would talk to them sometimes, and the conversations were never right, because a lot of times he would be like, who are you talking to? Who are you talking to? Sitting right beside me and stuff like that. So, you know, it was just complete isolation from everyone. So I have no friends to help me care for my children, or, you know, just to be here with me. So I'm completely alone. And he's still in the general area, which is a very small town. And I went today to get some milk, and I was so scared I was going to see him. But thankfully, everything worked out. But some other things that he would do and say to me was that very recently he told me that he was going to arrange my rape, that he was going to have someone beat my ass. He hopes I get raped. He would cut up his arms and say, this could be you. His favorite thing to do, however, was to pick up large objects and act like he was going to hit me with them. And then when I flinch, he would put the item back down and laugh. And that's so scary because when you flinch, they know they got you. And it's almost as if they hit you, but they didn't. So you can't do anything about it, which actually you can, because it's assault and battery. It's actually assault. The battery doesn't come until they actually hit you. So, or the other way around. I'm not really sure. I just learned this the other day. But, and then it's so scary too, because I have to keep looking outside to make sure he's not trying to come over here, because he does not respect, I know he's not going to respect the restraining order, but I just have to pray and hope that he does. But, I feel like a prisoner. I really do. And then I have no help or whatever, and it would be really easy to take him back. But, not doing that. No way. I can't even tell you how I feel right now. I feel so much better, even though I still have to be really cautious, and keep all the doors locked and put stuff up against them and stuff like that. I still feel like this is going to be, you know, like I said, on my Facebook on Thursday night, I said today was the hardest day of my life, and it was. And I don't know what I'm going to do. I still don't know how I'm going to pay bills or even get insurance on my vehicle, but my kids are safe, and that's all that matters. And you can hear them playing. And they can laugh without having to worry about somebody screaming at them. And one thing I wanted to mention as well is when you have a child, when you have two children, let's say, in an abusive relationship, and the child is being abused, or one child is being abused, and one is not, or sexually abused and one is not, you'll find that the child who is not being abused will actually have more psychological damage than the child who is, because they're witnessing the abuse but also can't do anything to stop it. And so not only was my 3-year-old abused physically and verbally, the other two children also witnessed it, the 2-year-old and 1-year-old, Presley and Charlie. They also witnessed it, and I just have to help them unlearn this behavior, because they're already hitting each other and hitting me and kicking me, and they think that that's okay, and I have to really sit them down and tell them each time, and I have to work with them super hard, and it's going to be difficult. Like I said, I have no plan as far as how I'm going to get a job or anything like that. As far as I have little part-time things going on, but it's not very much. And then of course my website, but it's not very much. And so I'm going to have to figure it out. But I don't have any plan at this point, so don't think you have to have this elaborate plan and every little detail has to be worked out, because I had nothing. I didn't have a plan. I don't have any money. I'm all alone. I'm lost. I have no idea where to even begin. But I know my kids are safe. I'm safe. We're not being abused. And that's all I can ask for right now. So thanks so much for watching this. And I hope I could help someone. Holy shit, somebody's here. Oh my God. I hope I can help someone. I have no idea who this is, but they passed by a minute ago. And see this, I'm going to add this to I'm going to allow this to be in my video because it's still very scary. And I want you to know that if you do choose to stay in your home, it's very scary. I have no idea who this is. Holy shit, I have no idea. But I love you guys so much, and please pray for me. I love you. So I figured out who that was. It was Child Protective Services. Yay. But no, obviously she came in and made sure we had food and everything, and she has to do it. So that's something to expect if you do have kids. They have to do it because they need to make sure that the child is okay and safe and nothing else is going on. So obviously she said, I have no worries about you being able to care for your children, but you know, it's something that happens, and if you don't leave and make steps to leave, just simply by filing the restraining order, she said, obviously you took the right steps, so you don't have to worry about your kids getting taken away. But that's something to remember. If you go back, or if you stay and or return to him, or let him talk you into it, they can take your kids away, and that's really sad. So just keep that in mind. If any of you need to talk, just if you're going through something and you don't know how to get out, just message me, get to know me. I'll post the link to the domestic hotline, and you can get the help that you need to get out of this situation that you're in, just like I did. So if you need help, I'm going to be here to support you and help you in any way that I can. Thanks for watching, and I hope that this helped somebody, at least one person, or somebody, or help somebody help someone else, if that makes sense. But yeah, so just know that it is possible to get out. And yes, it was so hard, I'm not going to lie. It was the hardest thing I've ever had to do. It was the hardest day of my life. But I had to do it, and if you're in the situation similar to mine, you have to do it too. You have to do it. And everybody's like, you're so strong. And I feel actually really weak, but it happened. So just keep that in mind. It's going to be so hard, but the feeling that I have now, it's so worth it. Knowing that my children are safe, and I don't have to worry anymore about what's going to happen, if he gets upset, or the kids do something bad, or whatever. I'm not going to have to worry about it. And it feels so good. So if I can just help one person with this video, then my job is done. But there you have it. Now you know what I've been going through, what really has been going on with me, and I'm ashamed. I really am, but I can't change it now. So I just have to deal with it and do the best that I can for my kids, always. So just keep that in mind. I love you guys, and maybe I'll make another video and do an update. So bye.